Welcome back. I'm Nick Margerrison. Time now for something a little bit different. Each night, this time on Late Night Live, I like to talk to someone who's out there making a name for themselves. And tonight I'm talking to Penny Mcdonald. Or, in this instance, we're going to be talking to Manchester. Manchester, take it away.
To begin 60 years after the beginning, it is spring still moonless. Here in the sprawling, starless and slow black crow-black town, statue still and as silent as a Marx brother. See through the mills and factories, through the throb of the past, see through the vain rain how good I look. The second city, Cottonopolis, the south of the north, Manchester. Go on, prick me. I bleed aggregate and cement, either that or red and light blue blood. Listen. Time passes as past. See me now in me thousands, turning in me sleep like oxen on spits. Off guard, anaesthetised in dreams, listen. It is the young overnight, moving through me hushed, fag-crushed streets, the nasal musical wind in the tobacco estates and the polystyrene precinct. Dewfall, starfall, graceful and metaphoric milkwood, earwood, now wood. Only your eyes are unclosed to see the black and folded town, fast and slow, asleep. Hush. The buggers are sleeping. The babies, the benefit boys, bingers, bikers, bully-eyed, bottle-breath beggars in the snoring doorways. Footballers and fanatics, PAs, publicans, politicians, professionals. Semi-erect husbands, mutton, dressed as lad, and the dependable wives. Young girls lie bedded and tan, salon savvy, tits full of pollen, Primark pretty as they glide in the static electric dreams of marriage down the British Isle woods. Fat men dream, wet wicked of pulling, thin women only in their in your dreams make Jolly Rogering see. And the anthracite statue of a Tommy, wide-eyed and sleep-starved in his faded poppy-pale park, guards the town on the lookout for Scousers.
Wonderful. Absolutely great. Really good. So that was you being Manchester.
Oh, aye.
Wonderful. And, of course, triggering the old rivalry, the friendly rivalry between Manchester and Liverpool.
You know, you've got to keep them on the toes, Nick.
And it is, isn't it? It's an interesting one. I mean, I will talk to you in a second about the play, but there is a weird kind of friendly rivalry between Manchester and Liverpool that I've always enjoyed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know I probably shouldn't be giving this away, but one of the two writers of this amazing piece of work is Whisper It, a Scouser.
Really? Oh, there we are.
God damn it, I've let it out.
Excellent, excellent.
The other one is Welsh, which is appropriate when it's such an homage to Dylan Thomas.
Well, yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about Under Manc Wood?
Under Manc Wood, yes. Yeah, it's, well, pretty much as one might imagine. I don't know whether people know Under Manc Wood or not. Under Manc Wood was written by Dylan Thomas 60 years ago, set in a fictional town called Claregub, which is bugger all backwards. And it told it told the story of various characters in that town from before dawn through the day to nighttime again. And you heard the thoughts of all these characters. Under Manc Wood is the same thing, but it's edgy. It's Manchester. Under Manc Wood, very lyrical, very beautiful, very Welsh. Mm-hmm. Under Manc Wood, I always say this is like Under Manc Wood meets Shameless, because we got that edge and that Manc thing. Yes. And we have a variety of characters. We have, we have an undertaker who's a frustrated song and dance man.
Yes.
We have a landlord who can only speak in pub quiz speak, so it's always, here's one for you, here's one for you. Can't talk any other way. Done that many pub quizzes. We've got a drug dealer.
All right.
We have a lady who's buried two husbands, kind of drove them to their death, really, and she's on the lookout for husband number 3. Right. She's a bit of a slow black widow spider.
Yeah. I think I've met her.
Yeah. Avoid, babes, avoid.
Right.
We have a priest.
Do we have to give spoiler alerts here? Are you giving away plot?
I'm trying not to. I'm not mentioning any characters' names.
Mm-hmm.
People who know and love Under Manc Wood will recognise the various homages that are in there. Some of the phrases, the slow black, crow black recurring thing is very Dylan Thomas. A couple of the characters have the same names as characters in Under Manc Wood.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
You don't need a knowledge of that, do you? Because
No.
I've never read it. I don't know what it is.
No, you don't.
Right,
You don't
okay.
at all. You
Good.
can enjoy... Manchester takes you on a journey, introduces you, as I just did, to the town, wakes each character up individually. You get to meet them. You get to hear their innermost thoughts. As the play goes on through the day, they go about their business. There's something very exciting happens, various interchanges, exchanges. You get a few hints about what's going to happen to one poor lass in particular, but won't spoil that.
Don't spoil it, yeah.
Won't spoil it. And then they go back to bed at the end,
Right.
having had a fantastic day, which Manchester, who's all about loving being Manchester, just revels in. Absolutely loves it.
So you're the character of Manchester, right?
I am
That's what you're doing.
Manchester, yeah.
Okay, I see. It's on the 7th and the 8th at the King's Arms.
And the 13th.
And the 13th.
Yes, 3 performances, 9:15 p.m,
Right.
King's Arms, part of the
Okay.
Greater Manchester Fringe Festival.
Yes. Well, I mean, what I'm going to ask you is Manchester, embodied as a person,
Yeah.
favourite music? What is the favourite music of Manchester?
Ooh, God.
How about that?
Now that I wasn't ready
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, you're listening to Oasis or the Stone Roses? What is it?
Yeah.
you-
Good
wait,
question.
what's
you
going
see,
on with Manchester?
She's a bit of a rock god herself, you see. So it's about the mood she's in. It's
Yeah.
got to be something that's upbeat and
Happy Mondays.
powerful. And you tell me, Nick.
I'm asking you, I'm
Damn
wondering.
it, caught on the hop already.
So, okay, so you're the character Manchester.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how does Manchester relax? You know, how does Manchester spend a Sunday? What's happening?
Oh,
What's going on? How are you chilling out?
it depends on the mood, you see, because Manchester, she's both engaged and disengaged with all these people.
Right.
She's very much a peacock. She's very much, see how
Showing
great
off.
I am.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just bore her, so she'll just go off somewhere and frankly snort a line of something.
Right, don't do that. Yeah,
yes.
we don't want to do that family show.
Or,
right,
no,
yes.
smoke at this time of night. All right,
Yeah.
she'll smoke a fag. She'll have a drink.
Yes.
She'll just chill.
Right.
She'll have a look. She likes to stand
Yeah.
at the peak of the hill that is Manchester. She likes to look out over her domain.
Right.
She likes to scan the Pennines and just generally enjoy
Yeah.
how amazing she is.
So, I mean, just to clarify, I assume you meant tobacco snuff.
Of
Popular in the
course.
1800s.
But naturally.
Perfectly legal. Okay,
Nothing
yeah,
else
cool.
whatsoever at all.
Good.
There
So-
isn't a drug dealer in this play. No.
Good. No, of course not. Well, yes, I suppose. Examples of Mancunian language then. What kind of, what is going on lyrically? Because what I enjoyed about that performance there is it's all about how it sounds. And
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on.
The language is beautiful. It's a joy to have in your mouth. There are lots of puns like the semi-erect husband, mutton dressed as lad.
Yeah.
There's lots of alliteration, which I really, really enjoy. It's very clever. It's very witty. The writing, the writers are amazing. Lots and lots of simile, metaphor. There's a whole... There's this poor character, BBC Dave, who's
Right.
been dragged up from London to relocate at Media City.
Nightmare.
Poor
Imagine
lad.
that.
Spends all his time trying to get back out again. Eventually.
It's funny you should say that. I've been saying a lot on this show, and I wonder what you think of this, that I don't think it would be possible to do local television in quite the same way anywhere else other than Manchester. I mean, I know they're trying in London, but the kind of the vibe of this particular city, we've got an attitude to life that I think kind of is. I like your costume with the razzle dazzle and the sequins and stuff. There is something very showbiz about Manchester, isn't it? It's something almost, I'm going to venture as far as arrogant. What would you say?
That's bizarre that you're saying that, because when we were talking about the character of Manchester and we were saying Manchester is neither male nor female, we were saying Manchester is an attitude and very much your rock star, very much flamboyant and arrogant and peacocky. Not in a bad way, vain, but not in a horrible way, just in a, do you know what? I am amazing.
Yeah.
And Manchester is amazing. Manchester is amazing. Manchester is so full of talent. Actors, singers, artists, musicians, you name it. Manchester is bursting with talent. And because it's tough up north, we've had to blooming well fight for it and carve our way. And I think you're right. This TV station, practically everybody I spoke to say I was going on it said, yeah, I watch it. I watch it. It's great. It's my favourite. I watch it all the time. Wow. Because it's ours. And I think we're very much, this is ours and we're going to strut our stuff. You're never short of people who want to come on and strut.
That's
are you?
right.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is that I think maybe we have kind of in Britain, in England, a bit of a downer on people who are confident, but maybe arrogant is the wrong word. We assume if someone's confident that they're going to be putting other people down, whereas in fact what Manchester mainly does is bigs itself up.
Exactly.
And that gets up people's noses to go back into that area, I guess.
Tough. But Manchester, in bigging itself up, is bigging its populace up. The character of Manchester in the play says, I am all of you, the blue and the red, those who are living, those who are dead, and you know, I let you sleep in my night and live in my day. You look just like me, I'm in your DNA. In other words, I'm owning all of you, I love all of you, although I puppet all of you, and you do good because I do good. So it's not, I'm great and you're not important. Not at all. We're all together. We're all in it together, and we're all amazing together. Yeah,
that's right. I'm feeling that. I like that a lot. I like that vibe. So what would Manchester's favourite film be? I'm just putting you on the spot with these questions.
Oh, yeah, little rat bag. What would Manchester's favourite film be?
Yeah.
It would depend on the mood she was in, I suppose.
In this particular mood that she's in now?
In this cocky mood.
Yeah, in this overconfident cockerel mood.
Overconfident? What can you mean?
Before we go into the break, you got maybe 30 seconds.
Favourite film?
You don't know, do you?
I don't know, because it would have to be Northern, obviously.
Yes.
It would have to be a Manc film.
Yes.
It would have to be feisty.
Yes.
It would have to be...
Good. And the favourite film of Manchester? What would it be?
This is where my brain goes totally blank.
You don't know, do you? Well, how about this? We'll ask the viewers. They can send us a tweet.
Thank you. Could you?
At that'smanchester.co.uk, at that'smanchester on Twitter, or email us, latenightlive@that'smanchester.co.uk. We'll be back next. Welcome back to Late Night Live. With me tonight, Penny Mcdonald. Hey Penny, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
We foxed you before, didn't we?
You did, you rat bag.
Yes. You're playing the character Manchester in a play.
And I didn't know Manchester's favourite film.
Manchester's favourite film. We're at Person. What would its favourite film be? We'll find out from the listeners towards the end of the show.
Thank you, listeners.
From the viewers. What am I talking about?
I don't know. You're talking about your radio show.
Well, I'm hoping that people who are watching are listening as well. That's going to be a key component of them responding as well. So how... You're involved in regional theatre and acting. You've been involved in this kind of business for a long time. Mm-hmm. How has regional theatre changed? What is it about nowadays?
It's changed hugely. For one thing, we don't have the rep system anymore.
The rep system?
The rep system.
Right.
When I started out in the 70s, believe it or not, we had repertory theatres all over the country. And my own experience, for example, my third job, because my first two jobs involved all kinds of other things, stage management, magician's assistanting, rigging lights, you name it. But my third job was at the Bolton Octagon. Yeah. And back then, they gave you an open-ended contract. So I was 21 when I started there. Mm-hmm. And I started there as an acting ASM, acting assistant stage manager. So as well as playing the smaller roles, I was doing the scut work, if you like. I was sorting out props and painting sets and all that.
The scut work, scuttling about.
Scuttling.
Is that what it was? Is that what it means?
Is that where it comes from?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
No.
The scut work.
Scut work.
Right,
no,
yes.
The work no one else wants to do.
Yes. You're a gopher. Go for this, go for that.
Yeah.
All right.
And meanwhile, learn your lines. And learn the play that you're in tonight and the one that you're doing next. And it was great because you were working with actors in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. You were learning from everybody. Mm-hmm. Different directors coming in. We did... A huge company we had. We did 3 Shakespeares a year. We did Rattigan, Priestley, Shaw, Ayckbourn, Whelan, Greenwood. I can't even remember. We did.
No, but these are all playwrights, aren't they?
These are all playwrights, and it was. I didn't go to drama school because I couldn't get a grant to go, so it was like my training ground. And because you had an open-ended contract, you just stayed there. Well, I say you just stayed there. You never knew if you were going to be in the next production until they put the list up on the stage, on backstage.
Right.
So you'd all go and go, phew, thank God I'm in the next play. It was like that. You wouldn't know until the list went up. But the opportunities for young actors then were more so for 2 reasons. One, there were all the rep companies, and they all gave equity cards, and they all had large companies of actors because they could afford it, and people learnt their craft. And 2, there were fewer drama courses. There were certain drama schools and not as many drama courses. Now, there are loads and loads of drama courses, so lots more young, brilliant, talented actors and actresses pouring into the business. no rep. If you get a job in regional theatre now, more than likely the whole contract will be for 7 weeks. You'll just do that one play, so
Right.
3.5 weeks rehearse, 3.5 weeks play. Or it might be a co-production between 2 or 3 theatres because none of them can afford to put the thing on their own, which means instead of 3 opportunities for work, there's 1 opportunity for work.
Right.
Smaller cast plays because no one can afford, well, the National, maybe the Royal Exchange, places like that, but hardly anyone can afford to do a full-scale Shakespeare. Or George Bernard Shaw, ye gods, that man wrote for big casts.
Did he?
So, oh yeah, we did Major Barbara. Oh, lots of us in it. I never knew what half of them did.
Right.
So, opportunities aren't there. Hence, Fringe. Hence, there's so much Fringe.
That's right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the Fringe?
Certainly. What would you like to know?
Well, explain. I mean, when it takes place and a little bit of a heads up on what it is.
Yeah.
The Manchester Fringe.
The Greater Manchester Fringe Festival. Yay! It's been going a few years now. Started off with 6 venues, now has 26 venues. And they're predominantly rooms over or under or behind pubs or cafes all over Manchester. And
When is this? What date?
it's throughout July, 1st
Yeah.
to the 31st of July. Our play is on the 7th, 8th and 13th at the King's Arms in Salford at 9:15 p.m.
Right.
It only lasts an hour.
This sounds wonderful. So it sounds similar to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah, which is where Fringe originally started. In the end of the 40s, there was the Edinburgh Festival, and these 8 Fringe productions sort of appeared on the Fringe. And then in the 60s, Fringe moved into Britain, London initially, but now it's all over the place. Manchester is amazing for it. And what amazes me, because I was a very innocent young actress. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have any guidance. I just went from job to job the first 6 years and didn't have the sense I was born with. And I still don't.
No.
Whereas young, actors and actresses I meet now have so much nous. They produce, they direct, they write, they act. They're not scared of approaching casting directors and directors. I still think, oh, you're not supposed to. I've got
Penny, these young people, I hate them. They're so talented. They're all over the place. They can do everything. What is this?
I know.
You know, they outmatch us on every level, don't they? It's infuriating. Young people, get out. All right? You're better than me. You annoy me. You're more successful
you're
than
more
I ever could have
confident.
dreamed. It's a nightmare. So I tell you what, a few words about Shakespeare here. I mean, first of all, it's an opportunity for me to brag, because at my degree, I had to read the complete works of Shakespeare, right? So I've read all of them,
it's about
including the ones,
37 of them, yeah.
including the ones they're not even sure if you wrote, you know? So there's
Wash your mouth out.
things like the
course you did.
Sword of Damocles. Have you heard of that one?
No.
No one else has either. I've read some of that
Sword
or
of
something.
Damocles?
I don't know, some daft play that was
you
rubbish.
making it up as you go along?
I don't know. I don't remember it. I've read so many of them. I know I've actually read them. I can't remember them all.
Okay.
But I tell you what, the thing about that is a lot of people have read it and they've read it maybe for academic reasons. Nothing compared to seeing it performed, right?
No, plays are not meant to be read, apart from by the actors.
Yeah.
They're meant to be seen.
Yeah.
And Shakespeare is it's my favourite. It's absolutely amazing, and I've been lucky because I've done about 10 of them. Not
Right.
enough, not finished yet.
Let me dole out some recommendations. Right, not all Shakespeare's good. Obviously, some of it's rubbish. But Henry V, that's a belter, isn't it? Not unlike Star Wars. In fairness, it's got a lot of fighting in it and a lot of shouting, and a cannon goes off at one point, as I remember. Is that
true.
right?
And it's easy for people who aren't familiar with Shakespeare because there are not that many characters, and it's a very straightforward story.
Yes.
Yes.
He goes over and has a fight.
Yes, and woos a princess in French.
Yeah,
attempts to.
that bit's boring. Go and get an ice cream when that's happening.
You're such a boy.
So that's a good one, isn't it? What else have we got Shakespeare-wise? What would you recommend for someone who wants to get into Shakespeare, but maybe they've not seen anything that's really drawn them in yet? What would you recommend?
Well, the comedies, I suppose. See, I love all of it. I'm sorry, but I do. I love Hamlet, and I think that is very accessible again for people because they will recognise half of it. So many quotes, and the same for Macbeth, which is the shortest and very accessible. Great story, fabulous story.
because Hamlet's massive, isn't it?
Hamlet's huge. Although I went to see it at the Globe and stood as a groundling through the entire thing and didn't even notice that I was standing because it was so amazing. Mark Rylance, wow,
Right.
stunning. But yeah, maybe Macca's.
Macca's, Macbeth. Hang on, you've cursed yourself there.
No, that's nonsense. But
As I understand, to explain to the viewers, if you say the word Macbeth, that's bad luck, isn't it?
no.
It is.
It's supposed... No.
It's a bad thing.
Pish tush. How do you rehearse it? It's supposed to be bad luck. And
Right.
It's a nonsense anyway. If you say it in a dressing room, you're supposed to then go outside, turn around 3 times, spit and swear, and knock on the door and ask to come in again.
Yeah, you are. Go and do that.
Look at you. This is not a dressing room. And anyway, I don't believe in bad luck.
So, am I right in thinking that you've had multiple other jobs? Am I right in thinking you were a drag queen? Is that right? What's this? How's that work?
I studied, a friend of mine, David Dale, drag performer par excellence, used to work at the Birdcage in Manchester.
Right.
He was both show creator and director and star. And one weekend he was nipping off to Vegas, as is his habit,
Yeah.
and he couldn't get a drag queen to stand in for him. So he asked me if I would, and I said, what? There was a whole troupe of them, beautiful show that he put together. And he said, oh, well, you're tall, and with the makeup and everything, no one will know. And I thought, is that a compliment or an insult? I'm not too sure. But anyway, because I like to go outside my comfort zone.
Yeah, a couple of ping pong balls and a sock. Carry on.
I'm not going to go there.
No, go on, you carry on. What? So you basically, you were going to go there.
No,
and you were no. So you were a drag queen. This is what happened.
I was a drag queen, and I had this weird moment. So it rehearsed with lovely, beautiful, lovely troupe, and I had this weird little moment where, because we performed on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at the time, and I remember being in the dressing room, flanked by Petra and Talia, 2 drag queens.
Yeah.
We were all of us in the mirror putting our false eyelashes on, and I kind of stepped back outside myself. This was 11 o'clock at night, and thought, this is strange.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got back and
strange.
did it, and I loved it. And I remember we were doing from the One Night Only, One Night. We were doing this big number all in the sequences. And I remember kind of winking at this girl on the front row, and she went, ah! And I thought, do you actually think I'm fine? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a woman pretending to be a bloke,
Enjoying the
pretending to be a
performance.
woman.
You're an actress, enjoying the
I
performance.
loved it. It was great.
So, a final question for you then. Magician's assistant as well.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that before we have to go.
Okay, well, the second job I did was at the Humberside Theatre in Hull, which is now sadly gone. It was the artistic director was a magician. My ASM was an escapologist. It was that kind of place. It was fab. So I often worked as his assistant. So I have been sawn in 3 and had my middle taken out. I've had my head cremated. I'm all right now.
Right.
Great fun. Yes.
Yeah. So, is it ruining it if I ask you how you do that? You're in the box there.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't possibly tell you. I would have to kill you.
Right. Because are you in the magician's circle? Is that how it works?
No, do you know?
No.
I don't know if they've changed it, but it used to be that magicians' assistants weren't allowed to join the magic circle. Only magicians were. And I know certain magicians who shall be nameless have blown an awful lot of the secrets of the trade. Anyway.
Oh, right. Yes.
By flogging, they call them tricks, tush, in toy shops and things, and therefore... But I couldn't...
Oh, this is a whole area, this, isn't it? So magician's assistants weren't allowed to join the magic circle?
No. And
I'm sorry, but if someone was going to cut me in half, I'd like to know how it's going to happen.
Well, you have to know the illusions you're involved with.
Yes, sir.
But that's the thing.
You
illusion
loon
I
with your
wasn't
hacksaw. What are you doing here?
Hang on a minute. This is a bit drastic for a diet.
Yeah.
And actually, I did get set on fire one night.
Oh, here we go.
The head cremation, when I was kneeling with my head set on fire, and he was doing whatever he was doing, and this fire leapt out of the can that my head was in, and my leg caught fire. But you just got to get on with it.
Yeah.
You know?
The crazy world of Arthur Brown there, just singing away. All right, well, do you know, I've really enjoyed chatting to you. Penny Mcdonald, it's been wonderful to have you on the show, and I invite you to come on again. Good luck with it all, and thank you very much. All right, you're watching Late Night Live here on That's Manchester. My name's Nick Margerrison, and I'll be back next with something to say. Don't go away.